LGD's turn to ban. IG's turn to ban. LGD's turn to ban.
Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Sina Cup second season. We are in the middle of a best of 3 between IG and LGD China for the upper bracket semifinals of this competition. I'm Basecap here providing coverage on behalf of Beyond the Summit, and joining me for game 2 is Winter. So Winter, how are you doing?
5 seconds remaining.
I'm great. Sorry for missing the first game.
Oh, it's fine. Did you manage to catch the end at least? Did you?
Yeah, I caught about half of the game. Like
Okay.
LGD was running a Necrolite Chen pushing strat.
Yeah, and it worked out fantastically. I was a little bit worried. The laning phase was not going well at all. Rabbit died pretty much back to back and then couldn't afford a TP and had to walk back to lane. But looks like LGD had a plan all along. Because as I said, I wasn't sure how they were going to lane it with the Necrolite pick. But they managed to scout out IG at the start and then got the Necrolite 1v1 against the Timber and then pretty much just played LGD style for the rest of the game. Once the Necrolite had his mech, they 5-manned and that was it. So I don't know. Nice strat from LGD.
IG didn't really have like a very strong team fight composition too. They didn't have split push, and I felt that the Necrolite and the Chen heals would negate all the Conca damage in the fight.
Yeah, they did a really good job of just making sure that the Necrolite never died. And IG never seemed to be able to find that one team fight that they needed.
LGD's
I mean, in theory, you've got a fairly good combo. You've got a Kunkka, you've got a Timbersaw. Yeah, you've got a Naga to set everything up. You should hopefully be able to isolate the Necrolite and burst him down.
IG's turn to
they were never able to do it. And Hao had a really hard game. Things were looking alright at the start, and then he just got picked off twice by Yao, and then they just kept finding him here, there, and everywhere. It felt like he was never really alive for the fights. But this is a whole new game. Game 2. And what are your thoughts so far on the draft, Winter?
I'm very surprised that like Alchemist is a first pick material here in the current situation.
Instead of like a Clockwork or...
Yeah, Clockwork is like the net.
5 seconds.
Yeah, there's still Clockwork, and what else? Clockwork is the first thing that comes to my mind here for first pick.
Reserve time.
There's still Crystal Maiden, like the greedy support if they want to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Alchemist, fairly greedy support as well. Expecting to just see him roaming early on. Again, I think the big thing for LGD is that if they ever get a small advantage from the laning stage, they just 5-man. I mean, that really seems to be their strategy. And even if they're behind, they'll also just
There's something I want to ask you, Basecap.
Yeah.
Why is nobody doing Red Doto against LGD?
I'm honestly not sure. Like you said, IG had no split push whatsoever. They never once forced LGD into making a difficult decision.
LGD's
last
turn
game.
to pick.
There was not a single time where there was a Mirana threatening a tier 1 tower for free, or there was somebody threatening a tier 1 tower for free, and LGD were like, oh, should we back off from this push? Do we risk getting initiated on as we try and disengage? I don't know. Maybe you're onto something, Winter. Maybe that's the secret. You just got to play Rat Dota against this LGD side.
I have this feeling that LGD's playstyle is really weak against Tinker. I just have this feeling, but no one has ever done it to show that how will Tinker change the game against LGD's playstyle.
Reserve time.
Yeah, I think if you remove initiators, so there's nobody to jump the Tinker, and then he just keeps all the lanes pressured out and stops you.
I think
towers.
in the current patch, Tinker is the most afraid of Clockwork, and you have Clockwork in your side now.
Yeah, I think the other thing though is you can ban the Clockwork if you want to. I mean, yes, you might give away something annoying like a Venomancer, maybe, but I think I have to agree with you. LGD just seem to they 5-man a lot. I mean, I feel like I'm harshing them a little bit, but it's their strategy, right? And it works.
I wouldn't say they 5-man a lot. They basically 5-man. It's not 5-man a lot. It's they 5-man.
And that's it. Like that's the statement. You ask, what LGD do when they play Dota, and
they just tell you Dota is a 5-man game.
Yeah.
And by most of the
5
time, if you look at
seconds
all the
remaining.
replays, it's always that timing, 6 to 7 minutes. They go 5 men in your safe lane. And most of the time,
LGD's
the
turn to
enemies
ban.
would always just choose to 5 men them as well. So it will be like a 10 man fight
Yep.
as early as 6 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, we saw that mid. It was yeah, but like IG thought that there was a gank about to happen on
10
the Kunkka, so
seconds
they came
remaining.
and sat the 2 supports behind him, and then LGD
5
did
seconds
move in with the
remaining.
gank with the smoke, but they also had, they also had the Necrolite and the Clockwork
Reserve
there, so it
time.
ended up being 4v5 mid. Nobody died, but yeah, it is exactly what you say. Like LGD will bring everybody to a lane if they think they can win a fight. But looks like this time around we might be seeing a little bit of early roaming from them. They've got an Alchemist, they've got a Crystal Maiden. Draft is still pretty standard so far, I would say. We've got this Lifestealer ban out again from IG. LG going to be getting rid of a Weaver and a Bristleback ban.
IG's
Maybe
turn
something like
to
a
ban.
Pugna as well. All of these early game sort of semi-carry-ish heroes seem to be causing problems on both sides.
Yeah, I'm quite a bit surprised that Bristleback is still banned. Like Clockwork will most likely be the offlane hero. I don't think
10
IG has run
seconds
Clockwork as
remaining.
their mid recently. Most of the time it's just the offlane for YYF.
5 seconds.
So if you're
remaining.
IG, do you even consider your... we talked about this, and I guess you pointed this out,
Reserve
that
time.
they have been running this 5-man lineup of their own where they safe lane a Viper, and they rush a really fast mech, and then they just 5-man from there on. Do you think there's any chance for IG of trying to beat LGD at their own game, or do you have to try and mix things up a little bit, play a more split push oriented style, and see if you can just keep LGD away from your towers?
I actually like your point here. Well, this actually comes from the mentality of the captain and the mentality of the team. Do they think that, okay, we are not afraid of the LGD 5-man, we can take them, so they're going to drop something 5-man themselves and go fight LGD? Or they have the mentality of Fnatic or Alliance. Why do we have to fight them in the first place when we can avoid them forever and we can win the game by having superior farm later on?
IG's
Why do you have to
turn
take the risk
pick.
of trying to take a fight? And you never know whether the fight is always going to be yours to win. Well, it may be LGD winning a fight, so that's not a certain thing, but speed push is always a certain thing. You can do speed push and avoid the fights, and you lose nothing.
You play your own game. You don't risk the, and that's the thing that you risk, I guess, with these 5-man.
Like I said,
setups,
it
right?
comes down to the mentality of the team,
10
whether they are
seconds
like
remaining.
they're super confident. We can take them at their game, and we can show LGD that
5
we are the
seconds
better team at
remaining.
5-man. That's a mentality thing. So this is going to be a 5-man again.
LGD's
Yeah.
turn to
Gyrocopter.
pick.
Looks like it. So we've got Clockwork Gyrocopter. It's pretty standard, I would say. LGD don't really have a lineup so far that could look for an aggressive tri-lane. And IG's defensive tri-lane already is great. They've got a Rubik, they've got a Gyrocopter. So I think LGD maybe just focus on roaming here. IG don't have a lot of counter-ganking power just yet.
10 seconds.
We'll see if they might be able to get their hands on a fairly elusive mid. I feel like
5
even something like
seconds
Puck
remaining.
could go really well here. It's fairly difficult to gank with an Alchemist and a Crystal Maiden if you're
Reserve
playing really
time.
defensively, and gives you a little bit of extra setup for the Gyrocopter as well, who, if he gets big enough, can deal all the damage that you need in team fights. So it's not even necessarily redundant to
10
have
seconds
two initiators in the
remaining.
Clockwork and the Puck, say.
I think for LGD side right
IG's
now,
turn
since
to
they already
pick.
drafted Alchemist and Crystal Maiden as mostly these two are going to be their supports, or they are going to do like Alchemist offlane like they did the other day. But if you are using Crystal Maiden and Alchemist as your roaming supports, you want the other two lanes to have a stun or some sort of killing or initiating power, so that when you roam, it's easy to get the gang off. So Dragon Knight is a very good choice here for LGD, since it opens up a lot of opportunities for the Crystal Maiden or the Alchemist to
LGD's
move around the
turn to
map to
pick.
create ganks.
Okay, so IG, they see the Dragon Knight, they're going to put the Clockwork mid and pick up the Nature's Prophet. So
Split push.
they do get some split push out here, but LGD still have 2 picks left to at least get some kind of response.
More
The-
5-man.
So yeah, so far
Why
it's
not?
just
turn
more
to
5-man.
Why not? Best skip. Why not?
I ask you the same question, Winter. I'm yet. I have seen it work out really badly for LGD sometimes. They go 5-man, they lose that first fight, and then the game is over.
I can't wait for like LGD to play against Fnatic or
5
Alliance.
seconds remaining.
It should be really interesting because it's a complete clash in terms of
It's directly opposite.
LGD's turn to ban.
Okay, so Bounty Hunter's the ban. What else could we see from LGD maybe for their offlane here? Maybe they could run something like the offlane Nyx Assassin that Speed Gaming sometimes do. Get your poor man shield first.
I don't think they will do that. I haven't seen them do it. But
IG's
Speed Gaming only
turn
runs
to
the
pick.
offlane Nyx if they have a Lich King.
Ah, okay. So they just sit him there, make sure that he gets his levels, and
yeah, they might still run something like Alchemist offlane like they did before and just pick another support or a jungling hero. LGD sometimes they do run Enigma, and Enigma is obviously also a 5-man hero.
I don't know if you necessarily want to pick it against the Rubik.
Wow,
Wow,
I
IG full split push.
LGD's turn
I like
to
the
pick.
AA and the Nature's Prophet. So now they just need to get a Scepter on the Gyrocopter. So they'll have Rocket Flare, Nature's Prophet, Ultimate, the Ice Blast, and the Call Down Global.
I mean, we were just talking about Speed Gaming, but this is like long range artillery 2.0, I suppose.
Then they get the Refresher on the Gyro, Nature's Prophet, and AA. Is that what you want to see in your
10 seconds remaining.
long range artillery 2.0?
Yeah.
5
I don't know if
seconds remaining.
the Gyrocopter Scepter is that likely, but I do like the Ancient Apparition quite a bit.
It'll never happen.
5
Yeah,
seconds
it'll never
remaining.
happen.
Oh, you're right.
They do it, but it might not be. It might not be
Yeah,
offlane. We'll see.
Could still be the support, but yeah, it's the Nyx offlane.
Okay, so I really like the Ancient Apparition. It helps you could just prevent LGD from ever getting close to a tower without ever having to risk anything either. Like they don't even have to send a hero to a lane to counter pressure a tier 1.
Yeah, but however, in this situation, having the Nyx just means that YYF will have to be super careful when he moves around to split push. With the Nyx is like one of Prophet's worst nightmare.
Yeah, I feel the other thing that's nice for LGD here is that they've actually managed to secure a fairly decent late game as well, especially if your Prophet is going for a split push build. If the DK and the Luna
Prepare
get
for battle.
huge, they should quite easily be able to deal with the Gyrocopter. And we do sometimes see Gyrocopters get a lot of farm, but I think the other thing here is that because LGD are going to be likely pressuring fairly early, we might see the farming space for the Gyrocopter pretty quickly get cut off. I mean, when you see a massive Gyrocopter, it's often because he went for Dominator first, he stacked up the Ancients a whole bunch, maybe got 2 full rounds of Ancient stacks cleared, and that's when he becomes super, super scary. But if the early game falters just a little bit and Hao has to maybe rush a first item BKB, then I become a little bit more worried about them trying to carry out this game. But I think you do have to at least have some faith in the split push and maybe go for a slightly greedier build. We'll have to see.
But at
30
the same
seconds
time,
to
he
battle.
can use the Black King Bar as his farming tool because there's so many stuns on LGD side. He can never be sure that he's safe. Like having the BKB means you can just farm with confidence. You don't have to worry about anything coming to you because the BKB will always save you against LGD's heroes.
So we'll see what kind of build Hao ends up going for, but I guess we should very quickly introduce the team, guys. This is game 2 of a best of 3, LGD versus IG, and LGD currently lead 1-0. So over on IG, we've got Hao handling your Gyrocopter, Faith is going to be your Rubik, Banana is going to be on the Ancient Apparition. Heading towards mid, we've got Ferrari 430 on the Clockwork, and for your offlane, we have YYF on the Nature's Prophet with some boots first.
Oh, they actually swap heroes. On LGD side, on the Radiant, we have Xiao 8 on the offlane Alchemist. Mid lane will be Yao on the Dragon Knight. DDC will be playing the support Crystal Maiden. Rabbit or Xiao Tuji will be handling the Luna. And last but not least, we have DD on the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, so we do have, well, IG swinging over towards mid at the start, but looks like Yao playing things defensively enough that they suspect that there's a ward up here. And they're right, so we'll be able to get the D ward off at the start. They've also chosen to block out the Ancients as well with their rune wards, so just denying a little bit of starting farm. And I guess that is something that Zhao Wei could have looked to do. When we saw him playing this offlane Alchemist last time, he didn't really spend much time in lane. He tried to soak up some levels, but then for the rest of it, he was pretty much just ganking mid and doing other stuff.
He has to take level 2 right now since he took he took the acid spray at level 1. He doesn't have a stun to move around.
Yeah, so he's just trying to stay within 1300 range to get that level 2, but not quite able to just yet. Ferrari manages to cog in Yao on mid lane. A couple of tower hits go down as well. There's a new creep wave coming in to soak the battery assault. Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. Bottle gets delivered as well, but pretty close call there from Yao.
Yeah, he almost got killed, and that was just a level 1 battery assault. Showed that against melee heroes, battery assault is just so effective.
Yeah, the Dragon Knight pickup did also give IG a little bit of space to go for this Nature's Prophet. I mean, they could of course still have run the Clockwork on the offlane and had the Prophet mid if they really wanted to, but I do like the fact that they're going to get some good farm on Ferrari, and he should be able to, if he can just keep getting pickoffs here and there, then he can slow down the 5-man tempo from LGD.
Yeah, and Xiao A didn't manage to find the ward that's blocking the ancient camp too. He's still trying to find the ward. And he doesn't have a stun right now.
Yeah, doesn't have level 2 yet either.
Yeah, this would greatly limit the pressure he can give on the game. Like the last time out, we saw the offlane Alchemist he was just rotating to harass mid lane so much, and the guy was so scared all the time that the Alchemist would rotate in with the supports to kill him. Like now, IG knows that he has acid spray at level 1, so there's no immediate threat of him ganking middle at all.
And even if he does, well, even if he does turn up on mid, wasn't able to get rid of the ward, so unless he smokes, it's going to be, Ferrari's going to be pretty confident just to sit here and farm. And he's doing a really good job against Yao right now. I think pretty much every single cog that he's used has got the mana burn down, and really shutting down Yao as well in terms of CS. They're both sitting pretty evenly right now, but I think the Dragon Knight is a little bit more interested in farm, and Ferrari's a little bit more interested in just trying to kill Yao at the moment.
Yeah, it's the clockwork against the Dragon Knight. You have to be able to get an early advantage against the Dragon Knight. Once the Dragon Knight hits level 6, there's no way the clockwork can win the lane anymore.
Yeah. We've already got an early TP from our way up top.
They're gonna push down the top tier 1. Don't think LGD can defend this right now. The two supports are low on mana, low on hit points. No one has a teleport scroll. Rabbit doesn't have a teleport scroll. They're just gonna give up this tower.
And Jawed is still level 1. He does have a nice little creep wave here that he's going to drag back to his tier 2 and get that level 2.
Wow, all the creeps actually followed
Radiant's
him. Wow.
top tower is under attack.
Okay, so push has been delayed a little bit for IG, but are they still going to hang around?
That was extremely helpful. Why the creep just sort of like moved towards behind? I didn't think he took the aggro from the creeps at the tower.
Yeah, I thought he managed to pull a couple off, maybe by attack moving on one of the IG heroes while he was still in range, but I didn't think he would be able to get all of them.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, push gets slowed down a little bit. Yeah, that was big.
He slowed down the push by a huge margin, at least by 1 minute.
Yeah, and this is absolute free farm to Rabbit on bottom lane, and this is a lot of missed experience for IG while they're all just sitting on top. Yeah. So still going to be the tier 1 tower.
Radiant's top tower
it's also space, I guess.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, they're still going to get the tower in the end, but it was a lot of precious time for the rest of the LGD heroes to farm up and get XP.
Yeah. I think this is also alright for Zhao 8. If IG don't do a good enough job of immediately pulling the wave back, then he's going to grab some more levels.
Are they going to go on the gyro?
They don't have enough mana to stun him. He just put down the acid spray here. They're still going to try for it. Now they've got a concoction. Rocket barrage is going out. Concoction still being charged up. They didn't have a crystal nova.
Yeah.
DDC has 2 points in aura at level 3.
Second reason is like the alchemist didn't have a level 2 stun when he was level 3 because he wanted to have more acid to defend the tower.
Yeah, I mean you can see the intention here with the builds from DDC and Zhao 8. It's like, okay, we just need some acid spray spam to be able to hold out these pushes if IG go for any more.
But they didn't expect to get an Invis rune, and that opened up opportunities to gank, and he would love to have his crystal nova there.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a TP towards mid from Zhao 8.
Bottom tower has
looking for Ferrari here.
Did they see the TP? I think they did. Oh, maybe not. The Ward, I don't think the Ward saw the TP.
Maybe not. But he doesn't want to walk in against the Dragon Tail anyway, so I don't know how they start this gank off. They do have DD walking in from the side. They get the cog down. Ferrari getting some good damage. The cold feet's coming in as well. TP's from IG. Carapace pops off. Faith comes in, drops the Fade Bolt. That's going to be your first blood on mid lane. LGD, 3 heroes trying to retreat. Banana still looking towards them. TP threatened from YYF. There's going to be a hookshot in from Ferrari. Connects it on Yao. Looks like Ferrari's going to lose his life. YYF is here as well. A couple more right clicks finish off Yao. DDC. No boots just yet. Cold Feet won't end up coalescing, so looks like he will be able to escape, but ends up being a 2-for-1 overall on the middle lane.
Yeah, and it was also a really good good start for them because it was the first blood. It was worth everything, no matter how many heroes they had to invest for that. It was first blood. A lot of gold for them.
Yeah, and IG also managed to deny the tower on bottom lane with a couple of timely TPs from their supports. So should be sitting at a pretty decent economic advantage right now, about 1k gold. Experience is a little bit in favor of LGD right now, but I think that's just because of how long it took IG to bring down that tier 1.
And it's also because of the Hand of Midas from Luna. Luna chose to go for Hand of Midas. I think this is an extremely good decision because of the fact that during the first push at the top tier 1, IG took so much time and it actually gave Rabbit the space and the confidence to go for the greedy Hand of Midas right now.
Yeah, and looks like IG are actually going to be the ones applying a little bit more pressure here. LGD already with some of their decisions that they've made are looking strictly more defensive. We've already got 2 points up in the Arcane Aura, so Crystal Maiden is not your best ganker. They've got a lot of spam to sit behind though. They've got Acid Spray, they've got Breathe Fire, and now they've got a Midas up as well on their Luna. So I think they're well on their way to feeling pretty confident about the late game. Though there is some pressure on their Nyx Assassin, and I guess maybe their Dragon Knight if he manages to pick up a Shadow Blade to keep this profit split push to a minimum.
Yeah, I have to agree that going for the Shadow Blade in this scenario would be an extremely good decision. And if he ever gets the opportunity to get there, I wouldn't be surprised if he just went down that road instead of getting a Black King bar first, if he's going to have a really good start. But Black King bar is still really good against the A ultimate. He's going to catch up Banana here.
The Haste Dragon Knight. Dragon Tail on Banana. He's pretty much dead for sure. Zhao Eight's going to come in as well for his fair share of the gold. But yeah, I think the other thing as well, stun going up bottom lane, they managed to catch out the Luna. Zhao Eight goes for the stun on Ferrari, but just a little bit of harassment. Faith wanted to steal it, but
he waited for the Luna. Like Ferrari waited for the Luna at since like minute 7, 6.5, 7. So he waited for quite some time there. But
he's been down there for a while.
And when you get into the hook shot, it's very difficult to cast your spells. Your ultimate especially, it takes a long time because of the constant animation cancel.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well for Yao, talking about the Shadow Blade, is you kind of want your BKB to be up about the same time that your Luna gets it. I don't know if there's much point in the Dragon Knight having a BKB and the Luna not having one, because even if the DK has a BKB and he's willing to force fights, you still have to have it up on your Luna as well. So I'm expecting to see the Shadow Blade from Yao, though we'll see what he ends up going for.
He's gonna disappoint.
Okay, never mind.
He got an Ogre Club.
Yeah, he's got the Ogre Club. Could still be a Shadow Blade, but yeah, looks like it's just going to be straight towards the BKB for him. LGD may be feeling a little bit worried about the fact that IG are just going for fighting items here. I mean, if you look at Hao's build, he's rushing a BKB for sure. We do have the Midas up on YYF, but that's no big surprise. And Ferrari, just Bracer heading towards Treads right now as well. They're not waiting around too long, and IG do maybe have the potential to punish LGD if they get a little bit too greedy with how they play this.
True, that's totally true. But on the other side, that if LGD tries to push into a tries to push too early without their Black King bars, IG can still win the fight with their combination of ultimates, the 3 ultimates of the Ancient Apparition, Nature's Prophet, and the Gyrocopter ultimate.
Yeah, speaking of YYF, there's a 3-man
They're gonna catch YYF. Oh no,
nope.
They went the wrong way. And IG has their own smoke gang squad in the enemy jungle, so who's gonna catch up who?
They spot 2 on mid lane. Looks like they might still get YYF anyway. Zhao Eight coming in with the concoction, lobs it out. I think YYF is dead for sure here. Rabbit's here as well. Banana sticks around Hookshot comes in from Ferrari all the way from the Radiant side of the map. They're going to throw the Ice Blast on top of Rabbit. There's still a Dragon Tail, however. Buyback from RYF. Throws the Prophet ultimate. Yao's got this double damage. He's going to keep on fighting. They managed to bring down the Crystal Maiden. Sprout on Yao, but still able to tango his way through. Dragon Tail on Faith. Yao keeps on fighting. Breathe Fire under 3 heroes. Gets turned around by the Rubik. Yao's going to keep on trying to bottle his way out of this. Nyx Assassin in from the back lines. Dragon Tail's down. Sprout gets used as well. DD in the river, has a stun ready. How going to keep on chasing? But is he going to be able to close the gap here on DD? There's still Zhao 8 up on the hill, and he's got a stun ready to go. So IG, they lost YYF. He bought back overall trade something like 3 for 2 plus a buyback.
Yeah, it was 3 for 2, but it was really worth it. They killed the Luna once more.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, so IG looking to see if they can bring down this tier 1 bottom lane. There is a fortification.
It's actually 3 for 3. The AA, the Prophet, and the Clockwork went down.
Radiant's bottom tower is
actually
under
not
attack.
that bad for LGD. Looks like they're going to be able to hold this tower as well. Rabbit is smoked up along with the Crystal Maiden, looking to see if they can catch anybody on the retreat. Just going to be the beam.
Yeah, the Prophet can rotate out to push out other lanes, and LGD has rotated so many heroes here, and as long as they avoid fighting, again, extremely good.
Yeah, they haven't done quite that much farming. I mean, they brought the Dragon Knight along for that gank, looking for the Prophet, so he didn't really get anything out in the meantime.
They're actually gonna go in and fight again. They just smoked Basket, IG.
IG, they are really camping Rabbit hard this game.
They have some hate on this Luna with the Midas. Never, you're gonna get Midas instead of your BKB. We're gonna punish you.
we're gonna make you regret it. Ferrari.
Oh, Ferrari.
It is nighttime. This is a little bit difficult. They spot Zhao 8. He's going to be the one to eat this damage instead. Rabbit turns around. He pops the ultimate. They want to kill off Ferrari. Can they do it? The Breathe Fire finishes him. They get the Dragon Tail on Faith as well. Rabbit going to keep on fighting. Faith about to drop. One more glaive. One more auto attack. Finish him off. Yao gets the double. Hao trying to TP as well, but DD ready with the Impale. And ends up being 3 for 1. They only got the support Alchemist out of that. So a bit of a raw deal for IG.
It was really, really bad to fight at the position was far too deep into the enemy territory near the tier 2 tower. And they were at a really open area. When you're at an open area against a Luna, the chances of you winning that fight is really, really low. There was no creeps, there was no, like, even the neutrals were too far for from the Luna ultimate. So the Luna ultimate did so much damage.
Yeah, I don't think you can even convince yourself that somebody might be top lane farming. The tier 1's already down, so chances are that, you know, all of LGD are only maybe 10 seconds away from getting to this, to that bottom area, if that.
They tried to mislead LGD into thinking they're not coming to fight by immediately sending the Prophet to middle lane right after the bottom engagement. And LGD, they are thinking that LGD will not expect it, and as a fact that LGD did not expect it, but because IG were taking a fight at, like you said, in a position where all the rest of LGD heroes could have arrived in the fight in like 10 seconds.
So right now, LGD, well, I just want to point out that Zhao 8 is doing really well given the start that he had. I think he's just managed to pick up a mech. He has.
Yeah, he just bought his mech.
Yeah, at one point, I think he was the fourth most farmed hero on the map. So I was a little bit worried that just because Zhao 8 didn't manage to get the ganks down early that we saw him get last time on his sort of off-lane 3-position Alchemist, but he's done a really good job so far. And even DD's pretty farmed. He's got some Arcane Boots up as well.
Yeah, the Alchemist would be really, really crucial to get more for them to get him rich this game, because he has to be able to at least defend the push from. One of them has to deal with the Prophet's big pushing. If your Alchemist is not rich, he can't do the job.
Poor Hao, he's just hasn't had any time to sit down and farm for a little while here. He's just being dragged around the map with his team.
He's actually still quite far away from his BKB.
Yeah, he's very
DD's gonna find him.
DD finds him. They get the damage. He misses the Impale. Hookshot comes in from Ferrari. They're going to be focusing on Zhao 8. Can they burst him down? Will be able to do so. Faith steals the Chemical Rage. The fight continues down in the river. Yao gets the Dragon Tail out onto Hao. This time around, the Impale is going to connect. Do they have a Breathe Fire to finish him off? They don't. Yao gets stunned up by the Cold Feet. Faith making his way in as well. He's got a lift, but Yao fairly tanky on the back lines. We've got an Eclipse going off. Rabbit gets bounced back by Ferrari. Another Impale from DD gets stolen by Faith. Yao coming back in, gets stunned up, but I think Faith is going to end up paying for this one. gets beamed and doesn't have nearly enough damage to finish off the Dragon Knight. So it looks like one more kill about to go the way of LGD. Faith has the counter urn. He's on the run. Do they have a beam? They've got the ultimate flying in, but yeah, there we go. Down he goes. So overall trade was... Well, Hao died again. Now, did he? No, actually he managed... He got out,
No,
so he was okay.
He didn't die, but they still lost the fight. They only killed the Alchemist.
And the Crystal Maiden, I think.
Yeah, and the Crystal Maiden. That's all. That's all. And they lost the Rubik. They lost the Clockwork. And did they lose YYF? Oh no, YYF didn't die. So it was actually, I think, 2 for 2 after everything.
Yeah, fairly even, but I think that this is still favoring LGD a little bit. They've still got map control over the portion that really matters. They're still controlling their jungle. There's still lots of farm to grab there.
Is Xiaotuji gonna die again?
Rabbit wants him dead. It's about to hit daytime as well, so might be able to find this. Rabbit suspects that something weird is going on. Doesn't actually want to be farming out that far, so he's just gonna go into the jungle. It's like the
similar scenario again. You look at the map. There's a gyrocopter pushing on middle. There's a prophet pushing top, and there's no one else on the map. So either they are guarding the 2 heroes or they're coming for the Luna.
Yeah, and Rabbit doesn't want to die. He wants to finish off that BKB. So backs off for the safe farm. Yao, meanwhile, is just quite safely farming top lane as well. Prophet not really going for a split push build. YYF actually ends up going for the mech. So it looks like IG are hoping to start forcing some fights right as Hao finishes this BKB, I guess. But we'll see if that's going to be enough.
He actually could get it slower than the Luna. The Luna has a Mature Hammer and an Ogre Club and 500 gold. He still has only the Ogre Club and 1,600 without Hammer.
Yeah, and I mean, if we say, okay, we take the situation that we're in right now, and then we put a BKB on the Gyro, a BKB on the Luna, and a BKB on the Dragon Knight, which isn't unreasonable, and then it's a full 5-on-5, what do you think it comes down to? Is it down to initiation? Is it down to finding a pick off first, or do you think one team has a clear advantage in the 5-on-5?
Oh, mid lane, they got DD.
Yeah, sprouted up, and the Vendetta hookshot's going to come in from Ferrari. Don't think they're going to be able to get him out of this one. Does throw out a stun, a little bit of extra damage, but
they still don't have any force stuff to deal with the Clockwork. But you were saying that when both sides have their BKB, I would say IG's heroes feel more affected by the BKB because most of like their primary ultimates deal a lot of damage. The AA, the Prophet, and the Gyro. For LGD side, if IG has a BKB on the Gyro at most in the first few scenarios, they can still use their spells on the other heroes. If the Gyro doesn't die but all his teammates die, it's the same thing. The Gyro wouldn't be able to do anything. He needs to rely on his teammates to be able to tank and take damage for him while he just sits behind and casts his Flat Cannon.
Yeah, fortunately Ferrari is having an okay game so far. He's 4 for 4 for 6, so whether or not you think his score is great or not, he's been really involved. He's been in pretty much every single fight there when he needs to. He has
a really huge impact in the game. Like you said, there's 10 kills on IG side. He has 4 kills and 6 assists. What's more to say about that? He's been involved in everything.
Yeah, what more can you ask for? But LGD do seem to be winning the farm war at least a little bit. They've got this Midas rolling on Rabbit, which is pretty much paid for itself at this point. So it looks like the greedy build paid off. Oh yeah, and now we've got Grievel's Greed up for Jawed as well. And he's also taking the time just to stack up some Ancients. That can be some farm for Dragon Knight later on. There's going to be a call down dropped, and IG a hookshot in from Ferrari as well as a Dragon Tail.
Ice Blast.
Well, Ice Blast comes in, Yao dropping low, but still dealing good damage to Ferrari. Is he going to end up going down? Tries to get up onto the high ground and just barely escapes there.
Yeah, the Ice Blast disallowed the mecha to affect the Dragon Knight. Otherwise, the Dragon Knight wouldn't have died. Oh, here comes the Nyx. How? Oh boy, are they gonna go on him? Oh, there's a Sentry Bot. He's gonna get spotted.
He gets spotted, he gets lifted, he gets cold feet, he gets cogged, and DD just dies again. There is gonna be a stun lobbed by the Alchemist, but Rabbit's now in some trouble. He doesn't have this BKB finished just yet. He's dropping pretty low. Rocket Barrage. In comes the Rocket Flare as well. Is he gonna die from the urn? In comes the Ice Blast as well. YYF goes for the TP with the right click, finishes him off. Jawed gets hit by the Sprout. Cold Feet as well. Rocket Barrage from Hao finishes the Crystal Maiden. That was awful for LGD.
Yeah, they tried to fight without the Dragon Knight at all. Like, I'm not sure why they felt that they could win in that situation. There was all 5 heroes of IG that they were ready to take a fight. And LGD just lost the
Dire's
Dragon
top
Knight.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, and the Nyx Assassin also got caught. I mean, it kind of felt like LGD were trying to get in there to save the Nyx, but by the time he'd already died, and by the time that happened, IG have a great lineup just to catch you if you're trying to run. They've got a Prophet. They've got
Bessie,
Ferrari
I think
as
you
well.
need to recall the Skype.
Is
It's
it
really
really
disconnecting
laggy
on
to
me
you?
all the time.
Okay, yeah, let's just do
Dire's
that
top
quickly.
tower is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Alright, we're back.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, much better now.
Sorry about that. You were fine to me, so it must be my issue. So my bad.
It's alright. Like, IG just got the Aegis, and they're gonna be looking to take further control to the game after winning the last fight. Haste on Ferrari, he's gonna get spotted.
Ferrari goes in for the hook shot here.
Wow,
Just
that
being a
was-
little bit cheeky, honestly. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. I don't know. It's a fairly costly cooldown to use just casually like that.
It isn't the worst cooldown of all ultimates, I would say.
Yeah.
Top lane, Yao is hiding in the tree, so they're gonna spot him.
Yeah, I was ready to
BKB
counter push, but
Yeah, BKB is finding up on Xiao Tuji. He really didn't see this coming. Like, getting a Midas that early, you expect your BKB to come like 5-6 minutes ago.
well, he does have 3 deaths. There were a couple of nice pickoffs from IG. One of them, which we talked about, didn't go so well when they got caught out. But IG after that last team fight,
Top
things are
lane.
looking pretty good.
Oh, this is gonna be a huge engage.
DD coming in. Ferrari's here as well. Stun to fly. They've got this Radiant Ward down. So they've got a really good idea of what's going on here as IG make their way into the fight. But can they actually engage? DD looks like he's a little bit afraid of some sentry wards. So not going to try and initiate. We do have an invis picked up for
The
Zhao.
Clockwork might be able to engage right now in the mid lane. Rabbit,
Ferrari.
he sees Rabbit.
Who can he find? He jumps in on top of the Luna. This is awful. He pops the BKB. He gets the Eclipse down as well. Ferrari being bursted, but can they get Rabbit back to safety? The answer is no. Ferrari survives. Stun flies in from the Nyx Assassin. Brings down one at least in the Clockwork, but double kill for Hal. Charges straight in with the BKB. IG take a 4-1 team fight, and things are spiraling out of control for LGD at this point.
Yeah, that fight, even though he
Dire's
hooked into the
top
BKB
tower is
Luna, what
under
he had to
attack.
do, the objective was just to force LGD to fight, because that position was really bad for
Radiant's middle
LGD. They
tower
were
is
scattered
under attack.
in the mid lane, and IG had the better positional advantage. It doesn't matter if the Clockwork hooks into the ultimate from the Luna at that point. He just needed to make sure LGD had to fight there. He did his job.
Radiant structures
And what
are
was
fortified.
Rabbit even doing down that far in the river? I feel that the headlong retreat from LGD had already been called. Anyway, hold that thought. Teamfight coming in. Yao still has his BKB, slowed down by the call down. Faith in a little bit of trouble. The Ice Blast comes in, connect onto Faith. Wasn't quite able to get that acid spray down. So LGD do manage to get one. They don't lose their tier 2 tower, but IG just kind of cut their losses and go back to farming.
Yeah, they just lost the support. It's like no big deal for them. Like, they would have lost the Rubik like
Very
for
cool
anyone
of you.
else. Doesn't matter. And now they just need to make sure that they take a good fight later. They have Aegis, and they just need to make sure no one gets caught out by the Nyx Assassin and take a fight 5-on-5 without anyone getting engaged upon first by the Nyx.
DD's running up, but it seems like he may have been spotted just in the overlap between this OBS and this sentry over here, so LGD not going to be able to find anyone.
I don't think they would have seen that. Like,
There were some pings from the Rubik, but that was
yeah,
that's my only
maybe
clue.
it was like a really small spot they can see. Maybe very small spot.
Yeah, it's right around here.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, so IG, we've got a Necro 3 up for YYF, so he's going to be a bit of a split-pushing menace at this point. Rabbit's going to keep farming bot. He's just working on a Manta style right now. But IG, they've got an Aegis. They know that they are well ahead. Last couple of team fights have gone great, and just moving in towards the top lane. They know that the Dragon Form was used mid as well, so if they're really keeping track of their cooldowns, they might know that that's down for another 20 seconds, and that's even more space for them just to bring down this 2-2.
There's no way LGD can defend this. They're in a really tough spot here. They should just
Radiant's
give up
top
this
tower
tower
is
and
under
hope
attack.
for the best during the high ground push.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, and I think a really nice target from IG as well, going for the top tier 2 instead of any of the other lanes, because it's the last lane where they still have a tier 1. So if a fight breaks out, they can kite back to the tier 1 tower and maybe have buyback support, and it prevents somebody like the Luna or the Dragon Knight threatening your tier 1 while you're going for a tier 2.
Ferrari has haste
Dire's
rune for this fight.
bottom
This
tower
is
is
gonna
under
be
attack.
extremely useful for him.
IG coming in, tier 2 tower's gone, another last hit for Hao.
Has fallen.
So he's up to 12k net worth. He's going to find a little ancient stack as well. So just going to be able to clean that up. 5k gold in his 5k gold in the coffers right now. And what do you think he built at this point? Does it matter? Just MKB or Butterfly, I would guess?
He can go for the Butterfly. The Butterfly is a very good choice here because Dragon Knight, Luna, and Alchemist has a lot of right-click damage, and going for the Butterfly gives you damage plus defensive ability too. So Butterfly is a really good choice here.
Yeah.
Solid choice.
And how? Well, ignoring advice is going to end up going for the Demon Edge. So it looks like he just
Monkey
wants more
King is
damage.
more offensive. You deal more damage than the Butterfly, but still, it's still a really good choice because he has the Aegis right now. He doesn't have to worry about dying. He's going to be protected by the Aegis, and LGD would be really discouraged to go on him first since he has the Aegis.
Yeah.
So going for a more aggressive build.
I think IG as well are feeling pretty confident about securing the next Roshan. You've already got... There's no tier 2 top lane. You've got a Prophet with... So long as he plays it fairly safe, he can just threaten LGD to the point where they won't really be able to come and contest the next Roshan. Though LGD needs to do whatever they possibly can to try and kill the Prophet and maybe be able to
This
get
is just
in
the
there.
weakness of like the LGD playstyle being exposed by the Prophet pick here. He's just... Even the AA can somewhat split push with his ultimate and Rocket Flare. So IG have a decent composition to split push well, and they also have the ability to take a team fight if LGD wants to fight. So it's a really good situation for IG to be in right now. They are on the commanding side whether they want a fight to happen or they just want to dodge the fight.
They're really controlling the pace of the game right now. We talked about this in the early game, right? The plan for LGD was sit back, take fights when IG push, but in general, do your best to outstrip them in terms of farm. But that hasn't really happened. They haven't been able to accumulate a progressive item advantage, and at this point their backs are kind of up against the wall. It's not a huge farm difference, but if IG get their way, they get the next Roshan, they come and grab the final tier 2, and then they're just going to start sieging high ground. So LGD have to do something, but right now they're all just kind of sitting behind Zhatuji on bottom lane.
They are really trying to make something happen, but they are always worried about constantly trying to... They don't want to take a fight when the Prophet is pushing right in front of their door of the base, so they are choosing their fights really wisely. They don't want the creep position to be too near their map. They want to basically push out all the lanes before they try and take a fight at the tower of IG.
Yeah, DD hoping that YYF is going to split push a little bit too far, but the next assassin is off the map, so he's just going to say, stuff it. I'm heading back to the jungle. I'm just going to grab a little bit of extra farm for myself. LGD also farming up their jungle as well, but IG just continue to pull ahead for the time being.
IG is using the map much more efficiently right now. Prophet their own jungle, 3 heroes pushing middle, and Hao is pushing bottom. LGD is just stuck in very closely tucked to each other.
And Hao's already got his MKB finished, and he's got a Dominator on top, and he's got another 1k. So he's huge at this point. And he could even... They've got enough map control that he could even just start stacking up Ancients if he really wanted to.
Yeah, they just need to control the map like they're doing right now, and just like you said, wait for the next Aegis, and that is the prime time and the best window of opportunity for IG to push. Because by the time comes, probably the Gyro would have at least one more item already. If he wants to complete the Satanic or go for a Butterfly.
I do like that both teams quite clearly have a plan at this point. We've got a gem picked up on the Crystal Maiden. We've got a gem picked up on the Rubik as well. So the big battle right now is for map control. If LGD find a pick off maybe on YYF close to when Roshan's going to respawn, maybe they can come over and take a fight at the Roshan pit. But right now they're just doing their best to get top lane out as far as they possibly can. And I guess this is where the random Roshan respawn time is a big deal.
Here comes the Ice Blast and the Prophet out and everything.
Goodbye LGD push, at least for now. There's even a fortification ready as well.
Yeah, rocket flare is coming in. They have just so much global presence, like they don't even have to be there to defend the tower.
Yeah, and they're just using Faith to camp the Roshan.
The human ward.
Faith, the magical human ward. LGD not giving up on this top tower, but the fact that nobody is coming to defend it might make them a little bit suspicious that Roshan may have already respawned, but looks like they've just given up on the idea of being able to take that Roshan fight. And they're just gonna force down this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, IG can just go push the tier 2 and take a trade from that. Because like the tier 1 is just not really significant for them to defend at the moment. It's better for them to take a trade off and force LGD to move around the map.
And at least for now, top lane's going to be in an okay position until YYF goes up there again.
So they have double damage for this fight too, on the gyro.
He's got about a quarter of it left, comes in, gonna throw out some flak. LGD, they get a hookshot in on top of Rabbit. He's gonna pop the BKB. He's trying to run out, but he doesn't have a TP scroll off cooldown. His team has to get here to try and save him. How pops the BKB as well. Rabbit is just going to be focused down. Can they get him out of here? They drop an Urn Charge, but Ferrari's there to close the escape, and the call down dropped on top of everybody. Yao throws it a stun. He's BKB'd. House is worn off at this point as well, but they bring down 2 in exchange for 1. The fight continues. We've got a bunch of beefy heroes going at it, but they manage to bring down the Dragon Knight. DD also gets focused to death, and the Rocket Barrage. How picks up a double at the end of the day. Ends up being a 5-for-1 trade, and Rabbit just unable to use any of his damage whatsoever. Didn't even get the Eclipse off in that fight.
The initiation was really good from Ferrari. He forced Luna to use her BKB really early, and therefore she was close to useless after her BKB wore off. She couldn't do damage, she couldn't cast her ultimate. And with the biggest primary damage from LGD out of that fight, it was basically all over from the start. Even if Ferrari had to give up his life for that.
And well, Dragon Knight has a buyback at the moment, but no real point, doesn't have an ultimate, and Luna's, well, respawning soon.
They're just not going to defend the Rax.
Yeah, there's no chance of defending this Rax, but now you're a Rax down against a Nature's Prophet, and a team who's about to have an Aegis, and that Aegis is probably going to get them another lane of Rax. So, at this point for LGD, do you just start going for the, get your lanes out at least to the river, and then just try and smoke, find somebody, and at this point, I think you have to go for the more desperate plays. Banana's even picked up an Aghanim Scepter at this point, which is...
It's gonna be very hard. Like, they have to, but I have to agree with you that they have to try, because once IG has the Aegis, it's close to over for them.
Yeah, they're smoking out right now. This could be our final team fight. Roshan's already down. There's a Satanic and an Aegis up on How. They're fighting in the choke point. This could be really bad. It's barely any charge on this stun, and he's got a BKB ready, still hanging on to it. The Ice Blast comes in. How's being focused, but he's still got 2 lives. Maybe even make it 3 with this Satanic. They bring down the Alchemist to start. Yao's being focused. Gets the Dragon Form off at the last moment, but IG already have him surrounded. The Crystal Maiden goes down, and that's it. GG.
That was basically IG like playing the correct style to deal with the 5-man push. They gain a lot of advantage from speed pushing and having better map control. They are more farmed compared to the LGD heroes, and they were able to take fights that they could. They took really good fights basically with the Clockwork. The first one was on the mid lane, where the Clockwork, both situations Clockwork had to give up his life for that, but it was totally worth everything.
Yeah, Rabbit just kept getting found out by Ferrari, and that just kept forcing fights that I don't think that LGD really wanted to take. We had a couple of moments. I think the one where things really fell apart for LGD was when they just lost the Dragon Knight to Ferrari. Then DD gets caught out by a sentry ward, and then they all run in and they all die trying to save their Nyx assassin, and I think that was the one really big tipping point, at least for me.
The Nyx got caught out like in a couple of really bad positions, and the team was forced to react to help him or either ditch him, but they chose to help him, and it turned out really bad for them. Like the Prophet ultimate plus the A ultimate totally owned them, and the Alchemist couldn't even regen in that situation because the A ulti just stops everything from, like, the Mag was useless, the ultimate couldn't give him regen, and the A was so crucial in winning all those small little fights for them.
Yeah, and the new cooldown on the ult as well is just great. You can even just throw it in split push and be like, yeah, okay, it's gonna be up in 30 seconds, well 40 seconds anyway. But so that's gonna wrap it up for game 2.
They have just really all around better lineup better to deal with all the 5-man in this game, like compared to the first game.
Yeah, so we're going to take it out to a third and final game here, guys, in this best of 3. LGD versus IG, and there's quite a bit at stake. The winner's going to advance to the winner bracket final, and the loser drops down to duke it out in some best of 1s, and I believe they're going to be heading into the portion of the lower bracket with Tongfu and LGD.int, so some dangerous teams to be playing best of 1s against. But anyway, we're going to see what happens in the third and final game. I'm Baseskip, he's Winter, and we hope that you guys will join us soon.